actually painted with some color because I'm going to do a sailboat. So all I did was paint the whole thing white, and then I added in a little bit of actual navy blue. You know, it doesn't look like navy because I had a bunch of white on my, oh, that's a good idea, Sheila. I'll go get one right now. Add a little bit of blue and just smooshed it through, and then I added a little bit of gray to the sky up here, you can kind of tell. So I also cut a little bit of a sailboat, and this is that same blue iridescent. I don't know if you can see the iridescence in that glass, but it's the same picture that somebody sent me that has a little iridescent glass, iridescence to it, I mean. So I'm going to put that right there, just down below the water line. And then I have a little bit of a boat cut out of mercury glass. So that's just an old vase that was busted. And for that one, we are going to use Pacific Blue Reflective. So I'm just going to add a little bit of Pacific Blue down at the bottom. Then, whoop, well, there we go. I don't know why I'm such a nervous Nelly today. A little bit of Pacific Blue down here, and then around the top area, we're going to add some of the Starfire, which is a clear. So we'll get closer to the boat with that. So this is going to be a piece that has a little more glass than a couple of the others. So that is kind of the goal, is some pieces have a lot of glass, some pieces have a little. Okay, so that one is golden pants. Let's get a pearl for the oyster. I have a whole jar of pearls. So you see, you can buy these at Hobby Lobby, just a whole huge slew of them. So I'm just going to set it inside the shell for now, and then we'll micromanage where it's going to go shortly. Let's see. How much glass are you using in each piece? Oh my goodness. Just a little bit. I don't know how to tell you this. Okay, I sell glass by the pound, and I think the most glass used on any of these is on the Christmas trees. And I'm going to guesstimate that the Christmas trees probably have a little over half a pound of glass. And for the sailboat, you could probably get 10 sailboats out of a pound of glass. This is an 8 by 8. The others, it's just such a smattering. You could probably get 10 fish out of a pound of glass. You could probably get 10 of these beachy things out of a pound of glass. It's so minimal. A pound of glass goes a long way unless you're doing something with a lot of glass. So I hope that helps. It's really kind of hard to say. Okay, all our pieces are ready. We have 2 fish. We have a flower, we have a sailboat, we have a seashore piece, and we have 2 Christmas trees and a purple flower. So guess what time it is? It is time for us to get ready to rumble. And you try to push some of this out of the way so I don't make a stinking mess. I think this needs some bubbles. What do you think? I'm a bubble-holic. And here's what we're going to use. We are going to mix up 8 ounces of resin, 4 ounces of hardener, 4 ounces of resin, and see if we can cover all these pieces. I really think we can very easily. So I'm going to sit while we mix with my wine. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on. And what I'm going to do so you don't freak out is on the table behind me, I'll show you. Well, you can't tell because it's upside down. But on the table behind me, I have all my blocks, okay? I have all my blocks and my table set up behind me for resin. So what I'm going to do is resin right here in front of you, so we don't have to move the camera around a lot. I'm going to resin a piece, and then I'll set it on blocks on the table behind me and move to the next one and move to the next one, so that we don't have to move the camera 100 times, and so that you guys can see what we're doing. So I am going to raise the canvas, but I'm only going to do it on the other table. I'm going to go ahead and just resin it here and then move it over to my table where my blocks are. Wouldn't recommend doing that, but we're going to do it because of the way we're filming and what we're doing. It's just going to be easier for everybody so that we don't have a disaster and have to move around a lot. So I'm going to put my gloves on, and I will go through the process of resining. This resin is not a hazmat material. Most all resins are caustic. They're hazmat. This resin is not. It's made in the USA. It's made specifically for art. It is non-VOC, non-BPA, and food safe. So you could put it on like a cheese plate and put your cheese ball right on top of it, and it would be fine. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead. I've got myself a little cup and my stir stick. I have my 2 resins, so I'm going to go ahead and get us mixed. I'm going to push this up just a little bit. And after I pour, we'll get someone to time us. And then I want to check my measurement anyway, because you know you're never going to get all this resin out of this bottle. So I'm going to make sure I get the proper amount out. And then we'll chat for a minute and drink some wine while we mix. Whew, that's slow coming. Can y'all see me mixing? Yeah. I'll let you know when I'm ready, Cynthia. Thank you. It does not smell, Pam. I mean, it does smell a little bit. I mean, it has a little bit of a smell to it, but it's not icky at all. It is not gross. It does not like make you sick or anything. Now, I'm not saying it won't, because some people are super sensitive to certain smells and that sort of thing. So you would need to take the proper precautions. So we've emptied out all of the hardener. It completely filled up to the 4-ounce line, so that is awesome. So you would need to protect yourself. If you're very sensitive to smell, you would want to wear a mask. Make sure you wear eye protection. Make sure you wear gloves. Some people are more sensitive. I, for one, am not at all. I could probably eat this. I won't, I promise, but I probably could. Okay, so yes, bubbles do go on everything. So we're going to use the other kit and get our 4 ounces, and I am watching it just in case it has more, because I don't want to end up with a disaster, because it's a 50-50 mix, and if you don't mix it properly, the mixture 50-50, or if you don't stir it properly, you could end up with a bad problem. Michael's, Sheila, it's a 4-pack or a 3-pack. It comes in a set. They have a purple label, I think. So it's a little shy, it looks like, so I'm going to let this extra drain out. So we are right at 8 ounces. Awesome sauce. So this is 4 ounces of resin, 4 ounces of hardener to make an 8-ounce kit or a container of, I think it's level 3. I'll show you what it looks like. Give me a sec. Okay, so this is the 3-pack of the 4x12s. Okay, so it is the purple label. It is the 1.5-inch deep edge canvas, and it just comes in a 3-pack. So this is from Michael's, and their canvas is on sale 70% off today. I don't know if the multi-packs are on sale, but their regular canvases are on sale. So yes, go get you some canvas. Okay, so, but while we mix, I'm gonna turn your right side up and look at you. And I'm upside down, so let's fix that. Hey friends, so we can chat. I'm gonna turn this down just a little so I can kind of hold up and tell you how to mix this. And we'll chat, and then once we get our resin mixed, we will turn back down and start the process. So, ready, set, hang on, don't start yet. Don't start yet, hang on, boom, there. The packs are on sale too. Oh my God, 100 times today I was gonna order online to pick up tomorrow, and I never got to it, so I have to do it tonight. That's good. Okay, 8 ounces of resin. We're gonna stir for 3 minutes. Don't skip this. Do not short your time. Okay, I'm starting now, Cynthia. Thank you, Grit and Grace. Framed by Sarah. Framed by Sarah. That's right. The link is in my early morning post if you're interested in Framed by Sarah monogram box. I love them. I've been having FOMO. I've been wanting to subscribe for so long. I just haven't been able to. In this past month, the box that came out was so cute. I was just like, oh, and Sarah's my friend. And I was like, Sarah, I need it. So I went ahead and subscribed because, you know, sometimes you just got to do it, right? So we're going to mix for 3 minutes. So I'm mixing slowly. I'm not really whipping and stirring really hard, okay? Because if the faster you stir, the more you're incorporating bubbles into your mixture, and you don't want that. Yay, Michelle! Woohoo! Okay, somebody asked about the canvas. Thanks, Michelle. We're going to put you on the board in a minute. So, Christine, the canvases are pre-primed, but they're not always nice. They'll have boo-boos, they'll be dirty, they'll have scratches, and so I always, even if they're, you know, even if I'm painting it white, I'll always put another coat of white on just so they're fresh. Just so they're fresh and don't have dirt or, hey Connie, or any scars in them. So you wanna, you might not have to if you check them out all over really well and they have a really nice finish. You could probably skip that step, but I like to do it anyway. It just makes me feel like I'm earning my keep or something, I guess. So we're stirring for 3 minutes, slowly so we can minimize bubbles, scraping our sides. 4 by 12 by 1.5. Yes, purple label. They're in a multi-pack. And let's start with our sailboat. Our sailboat is 8 inches square. It's 8 by 8. And we have a sailboat made out of some vase and a little bit of glass, probably just maybe a handful, maybe, I don't know, 1/8 of a pound of classic and Pacific blue reflective. And I am going to start with my resin, okay? I'm going to turn it just a little bit because it makes it easier for me to resin. I'm going to start with all of my glass first, and I'm using like just a little popsicle stick to drizzle the resin over the top of my glass. And what that does, instead of just dumping resin and it just levels on the bottom of the canvas. Yay, Beverly. I know, it's fun, girl. It's so addictive. So instead of just pouring it and it sticking to the bottom, you want to drizzle it on the top. So it goes from the top through the piles of glass to the bottom and adheres all that glass to the canvas. Because if you don't do it this way, you run the risk of coming back tomorrow thinking you got a nice piece of art and all the top glass falls off. So we're going to resin all the glass first. Make sure it's all covered. I'm very meticulous about my resin process because I always start on one side and then work myself over to the other side because it's just easier to keep up with what you have and have not resined. So that's why I do that, because I have that squirrel problem, like one little thing distracts me and I'm off in another, I'm off doing something else. See, I can't even complete a sentence tonight. So I'm resining all my little glass bits. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to get around those sailboats. So what I'm going to do first, because they're curved, okay? They're not laying flat on, hey Judy, they're not laying flat on the canvas. They do have some curvature to them. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take them off for 1 second. I'm going to pour some resin in that general area. I'm going to use my stick to kind of smear it around where my sailboat's going to be. And then I'm going to put them back. I want to make sure there's resin underneath the sails. We'll put them back. And then I can add a little bit of resin on the top. Just a little. We'll smear that around with our hands. Then I'm just going to drizzle in this empty space where there is no glass. Okay, and normally I would use my fingers to smear this all around and get it covered really well, but since I have so many pieces to do, I don't want to have to change gloves 100 times. So I'm just going to use my stick and I'm going to make sure the resin has covered all of the canvas. That way I don't have sticky hands for everything. So I'm just going to use my stick and smear. I'm going to have to use my hands. I cannot stand it. I just want to make sure the resin is on every square inch. Now, if it has a little skippy spot, I'm not too terribly worried about a minor little pit or crack or whatever in the resin. Mostly I don't want to just have one whole spot that is missing. Like you can tell that it was just an accident and not where the resin was just sissed up or something. So I don't really mind it having some holes in it. I just don't want it to have obvious places that look like I missed it. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, or am I talking crazy? Okay, so this one is nice and covered. And we are at, hang on. We are at, gosh, less than an ounce. Less than 1 ounce for this piece, okay? Less than an ounce. So I am going to set up my block behind me.